So the first one being the disk imaging. Basically, it's a camera. It takes a camera photo of your hard drive and then takes that image and stores it somewhere so that you can use it in case you have a system failure, a hard drive failure, any type of, or you need to restore one of those files. So it's often called a bare metal backup, and it backs up file programs. They're designed, you know, your programs that you've paid for and some of the free ones, they're not designed, most of them now, to, you have to, if you lose a program, you have to reinstall the program. If you buy a new computer and you've got a program, you're probably going to have to reinstall that on your new computer. So the thing to really guard yourself about is that when you're thinking about backup, the key ingredient is your operating system. The operating system, unless you make a file image of your operating system, you're not going to be able to put that on a new computer, on a new hard drive, anywhere, because it requires identification code, key code, and it's not going to work. Besides that, all your modern operating systems lock on to the particulars of your computer, and it won't work on another computer. If you tried to copy them and use them on another machine, they wouldn't work. So file synchronization, on the other hand, is really a specialized adaptation of the file backup technologies. Some say it's not a true backup because file sync really, what it does is it takes the files at one place and makes sure that place B has the same files. A and B are equal to each other. So that's what file sync does. File backup does not back up your programs or your operating system. It only backs up data. Disk imaging, the one at the top, that's the one that takes the snapshot like a camera of everything on your computer. So with that, we'll move to what happens when disaster strikes. Well, probably the most important thing to remember is if your hard drive fails or your computer operating system fails, you're going to have to buy a new computer or a new hard drive. Now, if you've made a file image backup, you can put a new hard drive in your computer. You can take that image. You can then copy that image to the new hard drive. And you're up and running at that point in time that you made that backup, just like nothing ever happened. All of your files are there, all of your programs are there, all of your email up to that point in time. So it's just like a photograph. It takes, at that moment in time, it restores everything back to that moment in time. It won't be completely up to date, but you can then update it very easily. So it's really not a problem. And the speed in which it does it, it's really unsurpassed. One of the three pillars of backing up your data, I think a key ingredient is disk imaging. And I believe if you use that by itself, you're okay. If you use it in conjunction with one of the other processes, it would probably be a little better. So we'll go to the next slide here. Synchronization, file synchronization. This, just as I was really, I'm making this a little bit redundant, but if you got a smartphone, a laptop, or a tablet, file synchronization just makes sure that the files in place A are equal to all the files in B, and it makes them both equal. So let's say you had 40 files in place A, and you only had 36 of those files in place B. A file synchronization program would take everything on A and make sure it's in B. So each of them would be balanced. You'd have 40 files in each location. And a hard drive could be used as a source to do that. You could use a thumb drive. You could use a CD, a DVD. Any of those things will work well with file synchronization. And like if you lost your photos, bingo, you'd have your photos back in just a few moments. So that's really a good adjunct to use with disk imaging. Now, file-based data backup, we probably all have heard about that. There's a lot of paid programs that are, they want you to, it has continuous backup. Now, that's going to take all of your data files and back them up for you. It's not going to back up your programs. It's not going to back up your operating system. It's only going to back up your data. And probably the most famous of those might be, correct me Barry if I'm wrong, Carbonite. Probably the most popular of a file-based backup system.
Yeah, one of.
Yeah, and we have equal to Carbonite, absolutely free on the handout sheet, and you'll see that. But you get control over exactly what you want to back up and how to retrieve it, and you get real-time backup. You can set those file-based to continually back up. So as you're typing, adding files, adding information, it backs it up in the background, runs in the background to make sure that everything at that saved location, whether it's in the cloud or wherever it might be, is equal to the data files on your computer. So if we got that concept in mind, we'll go to the next slide here. Now, where do you put this information? And that's a good question. As you see up here, the first one, cloud-based. We've got about 8 sites for you that's absolutely free with plenty of room. You could store there. You could buy a separate hard drive. If you've got a desktop computer, most desktop computers will allow you to have 2 or more hard drives in the case. If you've got a laptop computer, you can buy an external hard drive, a DVD drive, which plugs into the USB port, or you can put it on an SD card, you can put it on a jump drive, or on a CD or DVD. So you got lots of options as to where you can put your data that you back up.